We're going to make sure that by the end of the year, no child waits longer than 4 months for scoliosis surgery. Those were the words of Simon Harris. And he said those words not this year, not last year, not even the year before that. Simon Harris said those words back in 2017 when he was the Minister for Health. Since then, we've heard from people like Tony Foley, whose 12-year-old son was forced to wait 3 years for a surgery that Simon Harris promised him within 4 months. We heard from the parents of Harvey Sherritt, who was put on a waiting list for surgery in 2022 when his spine had curved by 65 degrees. And then, 2 years later, he was removed from that waiting list for no apparent reason when his spine had reached 110 degrees curvature. Children have become inoperable because they've had to wait so long after Simon Harris's promise. The impact of that is immense pain, a lower quality of life, and in certain circumstances, paralysis. Harvey's parents described how his ribs were crushing his lungs, and yet he was removed from a waiting list as though he had a common cold. And Simon Harris's response to that, when he was asked years later why he broke his promise, was that he didn't have a lever that he could just pull to make the surgeries happen. Today, 8 years on from Simon Harris's broken promise, there are still children waiting years for these surgeries. In fact, as I make this video, there are 233 children on waiting lists. So whilst children who desperately need surgeries are waiting months and years to get them, we recently found out that children who didn't need surgeries at all were given them anyway. This week, over 2,200 letters have been sent out to parents around the country, informing them that their child may have had a surgery that they didn't need. These children, some as young as 1, underwent painful, traumatic surgeries, leaving them scarred for life, with some of them even having to relearn how to walk, have now found out that it may have all been for nothing. The government have refused to give any details about it, despite being asked for months where they stand, and now families are being left in limbo. Pearse Doherty once again demanded answers from the government today, and was told that they're not willing to discuss it until they have the facts. Well, here's some facts for the government. Under Fine Gael's Simon Harris, families were lied to and told that they wouldn't wait longer than 4 months for scoliosis surgery. Under Fianna Fáil's Stephen Donnelly, children were operated on using medical devices that weren't medically certified. One child had to return to hospital 33 times after her initial surgery. And now under Fine Gael's Jennifer Carroll McNeil, we find out that up to 2,260 children had operations that they didn't need. So really, the only fact that we need is that Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are incapable of running the health system in this country.